everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have an exciting video in store for you all. If you're new here, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And without further ado, I'm Christine and this is Editorial Edge. On my channel, I take you along with me as I talk about reading, writing, giving you tips and skills on not only how to improve your writing, but also how you can make this journey fun for you as well, as you follow along with me as I make my mistakes and learn from them. So with that in mind, I thought it would be really fun to take you all along with me as I take Margaret Atwood's Masterclass course, as she talks about her creative process as well as giving us tips on creative writing in general. I decided to make this video because I was fortunate enough to be gifted this Masterclass course, and I know it's very expensive. Every time. Is there a fire happening every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday? Like, jeez. I don't even know where I left off. I'm sure you all have seen the ads for Masterclass courses. It's a curated platform where celebrities make their own list of courses dedicated to giving us insight on their craft. So not only are there videos on writing, there's also videos by Stephen Curry about basketball, Gordon Ramsay on cooking, you name it. I thought today would be really fun to have you tag along with me as I take the class. I know Margaret Atwood's class specifically has a workbook that she curated and hands out to those who are taking her class. So not only will you be hearing tips on how I study and how I learn about writing, but also maybe we could do a few assignments that are in the workbook together. So without further ado, let's get started with the video.
Okay, so let's log on to my masterclass. So as y'all can see, there are a bunch of classes on so many different things. There's a class on gardening, interior design, mixology. RuPaul has a class. Today we will be taking Margaret Atwood's class. As y'all can see, I've taken some of her classes already, so I'm continuing on. You can see here that there is a workbook and I just downloaded it. So I've opened up her workbook in a different page. It's super cute. It has a cover, an introduction to her class, a biography, and then the assignments are down below. So in today's class, we'll be covering creating compelling characters. So I also wanted to share my desk setup. Even though I have a monitor, I've turned it off. I think that helps me focus on one screen and not be tempted to go onto other things. So for me, I really like working on graph paper. With line paper, there's already margins and I like creating my own margins. If it's not graph paper, probably just a blank piece of paper is also what I would prefer to write on. And of course, I like writing with different colored pens. So I just finished the lesson that I was working on creating compelling characters. These master classes vary in length. For Margaret's classes, they're pretty short lessons. They range from 8 to 15 minutes, so not very long, but I really enjoyed this lesson. Another thing I wanted to point out about master classes is that they're not very specific. They're more of guiding lessons and insight on how to do or engage these topics. So in her class, and I think for the majority of the other master classes, I haven't taken any of the others, but from what I know, it's not so much giving you specifics or details. It's more of like a friend telling you their insight and their journey on what has worked for them during this process. Sorry that there's a glare in my glasses. It's my ring light, so I can't really avoid it, but it's distracting me, so I hope it's not distracting you. But another cool feature that I like about these master classes is that there's also a comment section, just as there is on YouTube. And some of these masterclass teachers also hold office hours where you can submit a comment or a question or a concern and they can make a response video back answering your questions, which I think is a really cool feature. So I think what I'm going to do is move into the workbook for this lesson and see if I missed any notes, as well as see what the assignment is for this lesson. So after reading the chapter review, an assignment that Margaret proposed that we do after this lesson was mainly inviting us to dig deeper into the development of our character, especially in their personal histories. I think this is a great exercise. It's really quick, so I'd love if y'all comment down below and do this exercise with me. Basically, the question is, within your characters, what are they most embarrassed by? Where did they go on their first date? With whom? She proposes that we make a list about where our characters come from, their background, their histories, and basically go into a deep dive on their experiences to learn more about them. I'm actually gonna write this on a notepad and stick it into my notes because I want to come back to this list when I'm writing and add to it, and I'm gonna run out of space if I write it in my notebook. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I decided to do this exercise on one of my main characters whose name is Caleb. He's actually the protagonist's brother, and he's mostly known to be overly confident, arrogant, strong-minded individual in this world. Caleb's character is actually the team leader of these groups within the world that I've created. So he has the tendency to need to prove himself, think of himself as the best, because these positions are really difficult to obtain. So when I was thinking about the assignment and the question of what embarrasses my character the most, I chose Caleb because I never really thought about what embarrassed him the most. I think I was so caught up in creating this character that's cocky, arrogant, a kind of character that most people would be used to. So when I was thinking about a response to this assignment, I also coupled it with the second question, which was what happened on their first date. The conclusion that I came to for Caleb was the thing that embarrasses him the most is being outwitted, outsmarted, outperformed. And that's what embarrasses him the most, being known or associated with anything that's subpar. Although it doesn't really relate to my story, it was fun to explore. Alright, so I just finished the other lesson, and this lesson was titled Riding Through Roadblock. A lot of the tips that she gave me was really helpful and got me really excited because some things that she covered in this lesson I covered in my latest video, where I gave everyone tips on how to improve their creative process. Something that she really wanted to stress in this portion of the lesson was to be kind to yourself. That is also something that I said in my last video. She was giving an example in her personal life when writing became really difficult or she was struggling with an idea. And something she said that stuck out to me was when she said, ideas will come and go no matter what you're doing. And so when you're sitting and struggling over a keyboard and you're stuck and you can't think of an idea, give yourself a break, because many times the ideas will come to you while you're giving your mind a break and not focusing too hard or straining too hard on an idea. And that is something I'm always doing. I struggle with an idea, I sit there, I'm stuck, can't think of anything. And so giving my mind a break and not trying to force an idea, but letting it come naturally as I think and go about my day is definitely something I need to work on and incorporate into my life and my writing process. So I just wanted to reiterate that because Margaret Atwood said it, and I hope y'all take that advice because it came from her too. So I just wanted to share that the way that I take notes is kind of interesting. You might be thinking I waste a lot of space, but honestly this is the only way that I can organize my thoughts. So on the left hand side over here, I do the main idea or the main concept that's being discussed. In the clear spots, I would usually leave space for questions or key terms that I have. And on the right hand side, that's where I take my actual notes. The colors differentiate, but I would usually use black to write common notes or notes that I kind of already know, and I would use another color, in this example pink, to write cool concepts or phrases that I really appreciate. So at the top you can see one line that I really appreciated here was that people are not perfect.
And so having a phrase in mind for each of these sections helps me remember and recall the information that I also wrote down. And then another color I would write is when I'm making lists. So in this case, orange is my listing color. So anytime within a concept I find myself hearing that there are a list of things that are subtopics within this, I would list it out in a different color so that it's all in one spot and it's really clear to me that there are multiple things that go into this section. I'm gonna be doing a few more of these lessons. I'm pretty tired today. I had a long day yesterday. I was in multiple webinars and I had to finish an essay that I hadn't started, so I really only had about 3 hours of sleep last night. I'm gonna do a few lessons, get something to eat, read, write a little bit, and then probably take a nap. Hopefully I can take a nap because I really can't, but I'm just so exhausted. I really like doing these exercises and I hope you all too. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day. So that concludes today's video. I hope you all enjoyed the class. I learned a lot. I hope you learned a lot and can incorporate some of these tips into your next writing session. Comment down below what tip or what exercise did you like the best. And don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this video. Until next time, bye y'all.